Hi, hello. So today I would like to explain about the similarities and the differences between Malaysia and Indonesia, and between Malaysia and Japan. So firstly, I will go to Malaysia and Japan. For the differences between Malaysia and Japan, Malaysia lacks skilled manpower in industry sector. For example, Malaysia has sent more than 16,000 students and trained to Japan in the years since the policy was introduced. And these Malaysian trained in Japan have made a difference in their workplace. For Japan, easy access to raw material and skilled manpower, especially in the automotive sector, known for the creations of automotive, namely motorcycle and cars, named as Honda and Toyota. Next, we move to the similarities between Malaysia and Japan in politics and social. For politics, government system are the same. King as the head of state in government, while the president usually holds this office for a certain period of time. And for social, for both countries choose rice as the main dish in the diet. Next, we move to the similarities and the differences between Malaysia and Indonesia. So first, I will go to the differences. In politics, Malaysia is a federal constitutional monarchy, but while Indonesia is a republic. In economic, the Malaysia economy is placed lower than Indonesia, but for Indonesia has the best economy in Southeast Asia. In social, declaring Islam as the state religion, freedom of religion is protected, while Indonesia officially reorganized 6 religions such as Buddha, Roman, Catholic, Islam, Hindu. And for the similarities in politics, founder of Asian, the people elect leaders through election. In economic openness represented by the influence of international trade. And lastly, for social, most of the population in the Southeast Asia region work mainly in agriculture.
Untuk soalan yang kedua, mengapa sebuah negara itu dipilih berdasarkan kerangka kerja Hofstede? Kumpulan saya telah memilih negara Jepun sebagai negara pilihan kami berbanding negara Indonesia. Sebab yang pertama adalah kerana individualisme dan juga kolektivis. Individualisme ini bersifat individu mementingkan individu itu sendiri, manakala kolektivis ataupun kumpulan kolektif ini bersifat menitik beratkan hal orang lain. Di Jepun dikenali sebagai negara yang bersifat kumpulan yang kolektivis. Ini boleh dilihat berdasarkan budaya dan juga masyarakat di sana sendiri. Namun begitu, kita boleh melihat dari situasi di mana keadaan di sana, apabila anak-anak semakin besar, mereka akan keluar dari rumah dan mencari kerjaya ataupun berdikari. Jadi dengan ini kita boleh lihat bahawa mereka ini mempunyai dua sifat tersebut, dan ini akan memudahkan kita untuk mengorganisasikan atau menguruskan mereka untuk menjadi salah satu pasukan ataupun bekerja secara bersendirian. Dan manakala yang kedua pula dari segi masculinity. Masculinity ini bermaksud desire untuk mendapatkan kejayaan ataupun mencapai apa yang mereka mahukan. Manakala femininity ataupun ini boleh lihat bermaksud bersifat bekerjasama ataupun lebih mementingkan berkumpulan. Di Jepun, kita boleh lihat bahawa mereka ini bersifat individualisme kerana mereka ini sangat mementingkan kejayaan ataupun untuk mencapai sesuatu yang mereka inginkan dalam kerjaya mereka. Kita boleh melihat daripada istilah workaholic yang selalu digunakan pakai bagi penduduk di Japan ni, adalah terbukti bahawa di negara Japan ni tersangat masculinity. Untuk pengetahuan, negara Japan ni mempunyai nilai masculinity yang paling tinggi di dunia, antara yang paling tinggi di dunia. Okay, manakala yang ketiga pula disebabkan oleh uncertain avoided ataupun ketidakpastian ataupun pencegahan ketidakpastian. Ini bagi mengelakkan berlakunya kekaburan ataupun keputusan yang dibuat itu tidak terlalu pasti akan keberkesanan ataupun sebab mengapa keputusan itu dipilih. Di Jepun, kita boleh lihat bahawa keputusan yang diambil ini adalah berdasarkan merit ataupun kelayakan pilihan tersebut dipilih. Hal ini kerana sesuatu keputusan yang diambil akan dinilai dari beberapa hierarki, daripada hierarki yang bawah hinggalah hierarki yang ke atas. Jadi tiadalah istilah keputusan yang diambil adalah berdasarkan kroni ataupun hubungan antara mereka.
Assalamualaikum and hi. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muaz bin Rahim and my matrix number is S50897. Without wasting time, let's proceed with answering the number 3 question, which is identifying potential challenges or obstacles would you face in managing cross-cultural issues between Japan and Malaysia. I choose language barriers is the first point because, as we know, one of the key factors to ensure workforce is managed efficiently is a good communication. It's very awkward for some employees to communicate with each other when they are in a different nation. In the organization, each employee should understand the employer's meaning and would follow the instructions without a hitch to produce productive work. But in reality, the employer often has to rephrase, clarify, or elaborate to ensure the comprehension to the employee. Therefore, knowing the various types of language will create a more efficient and effective form of communication in an organization. Next, the second point is differences of religions and multiracial. The certain country, they have a lot of racial. For example, Malaysia has Chinese, Malay, and Indian, which is every race that professes their religions like Islam, Hindu, and Christian. While in Japan, even most of the population consists of one race, but they have differences professing religions, such as Shinto, Confucianism, and Buddhism. Different religious groups celebrate different holidays, such as Muslims celebrate the Hari Raya and Eid al-Adha. Christians commemorate the birth of Jesus at Christmas, and other cultures have their own holidays. Therefore, respecting the cultural differences of employees is crucial when planning holidays parties or otherwise recognizing the holidays in a country that consists of religious and racial diversity and throughout the year. Third point is differences between pay levels. Pay levels are influenced by labor productivity in different countries between Japan and Malaysia. In economic theory, labor productivity is much higher when labor is supplemented by capital. If we compare Malaysia and Japan, Malaysia is still a developing country, while Japan is a rich country. Therefore, the accumulated capital in Japan is higher than in Malaysia, that will influence labor productivity. Besides that, pay level difference between countries because the wages are in different currencies. As we know, Japanese currencies, yen, are higher than Malaysian ringgit Malaysia. Therefore, as the manager, it's very difficult to determine the pay levels of the labor when they are in the same positions. Last but not least, the last point is differences the work methods. Japan is well known for its long work hours. Besides, their working labor and didn't take many vacations if compared to Malaysia. Most Japanese people are willing to work no matter where they are. Furthermore, senior citizens also do not mind working as well as filling their free time, even though they have retired from their previous major jobs. However, it's quite different from Malaysian working culture, which is influenced by political and racial issues. Politics, according to this race, is more aimed at defending and fighting for their rights of their respective races. Therefore, it will lead to the conflict in an organization among Malaysian workers, and also their work productivity will be decreased. That's all. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Siti Fatihah binti Ahmad Nazri. Number metric is S56712. My part is suppose you are required to hire a manager among the local people to ensure that employees are accustomed to the practice of their home country. What are the skills, responsibilities, and requirements you would look for when you draft a job description to this role? Here we have 3 points, which is the communication skill, focus on their words, and Japan culture. As we know, in Japan, they have would like to talk the Japan language because they priorities their own language. Closely related to Japanese skill, this broader category not only the language that you speak, but is how you communicate. How you communicate in a group of a team or a manager or a office mate. It can show a country that have a value of group harmony and teamwork together. Their manager want all employees share a lot of information as exemplified. For the second point is focus on their work. In Japan, spending too much time with chatting or playing with your phone while on the clock is typically looked down upon. During giving others a strong impression that you are really not talking about a job seriously. They said taking a break is definitely necessary to boost efficiency. So a break here we have more than acceptable. They also focus in their words, and they focus only on their words, and do not gossip with the next desk. Local people also didn't take any free time for a tea and take a break for a while. Their local workers, they will finish their tasks or report due the time. In Japan also, the local workers have a strong of their teamwork in a company to lead and handle some project as a team. people tend to see their works and teammates and decide on things together in a meeting. Okay, for the last point is Japan culture. After a office hour, they have drinking before and they back at home. In traditional Japan, there is who drinking with colleagues or office mate after finish their work. This late night drinking season with the boss can be sometimes go on until a few hours of drinking, or someone who finally to talk or praise the out. In also to be it also to be some networking in Japan, and can be a participation in such events can provide opportunities for employees seeking to climb the cooperation ladder. It have a seniority system, which means that need to relationship between seniors and junior as a relationship. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Sarais Rami Mustafa, S55643. Okay, today I would like to present what activities and programs can be implemented by the manager to ensure that worker brought in from foreign countries, such as worker from Malaysians, accoutrement to the practice of the country of origin. Okay, therefore, I have several activity and program can be done to ensure that the employer is familiar with the environment of the country of origins. Okay, first of all, for manager should hold a program such as a family day term on the prospective country, such as wearing the national shirt of the employer's country, like employer of Malaysian state can wear a traditional Malay dress, like baju kurung, baju Melayu. With a program like this, worker from abroad worst country is from Malaysian will feel like they are in the country of origin, and will to some extent give energy or work better. Secondly, as a manager, we can access the same training needs in our country. This is because training evolution is a very important aspect of training. However, most organizations are less concerned about this aspect of assessments. This is a disadvantage because forming a training program and providing training to employers involves considerable cost, not only in financial terms but also in terms of time and order preparation. So with that in mind, of course we want to make sure this money invested give a positive return to our company. Okay. So thirdly, manager can apply behavior modeling to employers. Okay, this technique combines several training methods that are different from the country of origin and the current country. This is because this approach requires a demonstration of employers' behavior designed by the manager. Then, the employer is giving the opportunity to reenact the behavior, and finally feedback will be given to the manager. Therefore, this method involved our 4 important components. For firstly, namely things to know. Second, models. Third, recognition. And lastly, feedback as well as a reinforcement of what is needed. Okay, this all my presentation today. Okay.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Anatusna binti Sharnazi. My matric number is S56835, and today I want to present about the topic that we choose, which is Japan. And the question of my part is, what are the behavior or attribute that employees in the organization should demonstrate to ensure a corporate culture that accept their cultural difference and create a sense of inclusiveness. Japan, which is the harmony, its relationship between management, which is employee, have a long been talked about. So its commitment and loyalty against his organization. This has caused many countries to be attracted to try, apply, or experiment with this Japanese management system or style, includes Malaysia. The behavior of the Japanese is very different from Malaysia, where they are a hard worker and it's not easy to give up. The first point is employees should be punctuality. Workers should have a punctual behavior in the organization. It's because Japanese people never like people who waste their time. You will not have the opportunity to see any of the staff who are using Facebook, playing game, and using mobile phone while working. So, managers should be a role model for employees to ensure the organization is in the good condition. Secondly, the behavior or attribute that employees in the organization should demonstrate in discipline and trust. You know, Japanese people very disciplined, especially on their work. Japanese workers are very committed to their work. Usually, they will work beyond the working schedule. For them, work is everything. So it's not surprising that everywhere there are many Japanese companies that are famous in the eyes of the world. The Japanese are indeed known for their politeness and great respect for guests. There are 3 categories of respectful bowing found in Japanese society, namely less bowing, respectful bowing, and more respectful bowing. Compared to the positive attitude of Japanese people in society, the good attitude toward outsiders make a person feel like he is in his own family. The behavior, culture, and way of life of the Japanese people should be practiced in the organization because their lifestyle is more appreciated to develop the company in their place. Lastly, systematic, efficient and flexible delivery system. Managers need to read and research more deeply about the Japanese society, especially Japanese workers. This is because they want to ensure that they are in a comfortable condition and good communication between Malaysian and Japanese worker. Thank you.
Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ain Tahira. So today I would like to explain about the factor of effectiveness of the cultural integrations of employees. So divided into four. Firstly is not giving up. Second is be ready. Thirdly is reading culture, and next is cooperate. Firstly, the most synonym with Japanese society is the attitude of not giving up easily. History proved that the Japanese have a very high resilience. The Japanese quickly adapted and become fast learners. For example, Japan is not like Malaysia, which is rich in natural resources. The Japanese are very poor in this aspect, but they have never given up. They import oil, iron and timber, and even 85% of Japan energy resources come from other countries. Secondly, be ready. The poor culture trained in childhood will directly train every resident to always be ready to face all possible and wake up all quickly after an accident. As is well known, Japan is vulnerable of various types of natural disasters such as volcanic eruption, earthquake, tsunami and more. By preparing these young children to be self-reliant, they will no longer need military training after high school. So the training are very, very simple. Thirdly, and this one attitude is indeed a chronic problem in Malaysia, which is reading. The Japanese are very diligent in reading. In everywhere, small children and adults are engrossed in reading book or newspaper. If there is demand, there must be a supply, right? The publisher then make a manga comic to fill in the school curriculum. And it is allowed by the school. The manga comic, they are the grades of young Japanese children are interspersed with lessons in history, biology, language, and many more in order to increase the interest in reading in society. Next is cooperate. Again, Malay mention bersatu teguh bercerai roboh. This is what the Japanese people practice in performing any job. They prefer to do things in group. In short, less individualistic in their society. The world of study as well as work, this principle of group work also bring unity in their country. Finally, even Japan is far ahead of its contemporaries. The Japan still retain the traditional and culture of their ancestor. The culture of married women not working still exists. The culture of apologies is still practiced. The Japanese find it very difficult to say no to any request. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi and greetings, Doctor. I'm Arun Mulivarman, son of Manimaran, non-metric S56824. Want to present my topic, which is how do organizations benefit from an effective cross-country organizations with a strong corporate culture. Corporate culture is a set of ideology that an organizations dominate and repercussions in every area of business. The benefit from an effective cross-country organizations with a strong corporate culture is: number one, clear missions. Clear mission statements encourage people to think critically about the influence their actions will have and company goals in both long and short terms. Having a clear mission statements help people to consider how the companies could grow in different contexts while still uploading their value. When a company in Malaysia has a clearly defined mission statements and everyone, including Japan, understands the company's missions and the goal, this may help the companies to lead the organization's goal. Without this type of direct mission statements, companies often struggle to find an identity and may not separate themselves from competitors. Number two, gain a better insight. Insight is the combinations of life work experience with a systematic collected and analysis data. When the project manager put together people who are expert in different subjects from Malaysian employee and Japanese employee, each will unique skill set, it will bring forward some new perspective to the world. This technique of associations will bring new visions to team to bring up the creative solutions and boost of development. Number three, solid communication. Solid communication is a process of sharing information between people within the outside of a company. Effective solid communication is how employees and managements interact to reach such organization's goals, and its purpose is to improve organization's practice and reduce error. When Malaysian employee communicate with a Japanese employee vice versa, will avoid a misunderstanding and the problems. Solid communication also help to share idea between cross-functional teams. Number 4, super innovative idea. Super innovative idea is an organizational process of introducing new ideas, work methodology, service or products. When Malaysia and Japan play with a different mind and different rules are brought together, they speculate outside of the box to extensively bring better outcomes. It is the best way to bring out a creative mind to pull opinion together to separate business from their opponent. Number 5, superior performance. Superior performance means the level of performance with a respect to a performance measure, achievement of which will result in a particular achieving the superior bonus opportunities. A conversation between Malaysian workers and Japanese workers is strong. It's helped the management and employee work simultaneously better. With this factor in place, the corporation performs better and put out the better result. The manufacture product with more advantage quality and product and conducts at a greater rate than those with a poor culture. Number 6, developing management skill. Developing management skills such as communications, problem solving and decisions making are ability that will help the company become more successful and achieve goal. And effective cross-country organizations with a strong corporate culture help their workers to develop the management skills by cultivate self-awareness, increase technical skills, interpersonal and communication skills and decision making skill. Thank you, Doctor.